Alrighty, then what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Sunny here, bringing you guys another Neverwinter video, guys. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my mod 11B, mod 11. No, we're in mod 11B, mod 11.5. I meant to say, OathBound Paladin build, guys. This loadout system brings a lot of diversity to this class. You can have two separate types of builds. You can have two completely different types of playstyle. You can be a healed in and a tank, or you can have two tank and builds, whatever, PvP builds. You know, you can flip and flop. You can have, I'm not sure what the max amount of loadouts you can have. I only have two at the moment. I'm probably gonna get one more though, and then I'll make a build on that video because I'm probably gonna make a healed in one. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into this one, guys. So for the first part of this build, it's going to be a pretty long video, so just bear with me. We have my OathBound Paladin DPS build, guys. Now, this is for somebody who's looking for a different type of play style, who's just a casual player. You know, when I queue up by myself, so when I run with, you know, that way, I don't get the very best players. So I figured I'd make a build where I can tank, but at the same time, I can pretty much solo any dungeon within the game, you know, considering tier 1 and tier 2. But after that, this build kind of gets shitted on in FBI, so that's where I came out with just a pure tanking build. So when I run MSVA, FBI, Master Spell, you know, the Master Caverns, I just switch builds real quick, and boom, I can tank it no problem. So without further ado, here we go. I have the Dragon Loyalist Visage. Now there is a bunch of new gear out, and the item level has increased. So these pieces of gear are gonna change, no doubt. This is what I have at the moment. That the lace set. There's actually a new one of these that gives you kind of the same stat, less power and a little bit more recovery and some more AC and stuff like that. I think it's called like the Shroud of something, and I'm definitely gonna. I actually don't know where the heck you get that from. I'm gonna have to find that out because that thing is pretty cool. I'll show you where it is in the collection tab if I can real quick, because that thing is pretty badass. I ain't even gonna lie. It's right here. This thing is pretty dope. Check that out. It gives you power, recovery, defense, 14 AC, and 25,000 hit points. That's a damn good piece of gear. It's almost like this one, but it's an even higher item level. We have Airborne Medic Curter still. Don't ask me why yet. I would switch out for the. I just haven't had the chance to grab it yet. Then we have the Vivified Overlord. For your main hand and offhand, a lot of people said you gotta go for Life Forge, defense, and sheer power. But I went with the face set. For the action point gain, guys. People, you know, action point gain is very reliable. Not always do we have to drop the bubble, guys. We can drop the Divine Judge, which is our knife. And this thing, if you're built right and have enough power and everything, this thing can for millions. Okay, if you have like decent cleric, it can drop for like. If you don't, on your own, you know, I think I could still drop for $1 million. It just depends. So that's why being able to drop my knife, or when I'm using my tank build to throw up my bubble, only lasts for 6 seconds. I like to keep my people alive because when I die, they die in FBI and MSVA. For our artifact, we got the Sigil of the Devoted, the Sigil of the Controller, the Sigil of the Great Weapon Fighter, and the Token of Dramatic Storm. One artifacts that give you power and hit points. Okay, power, crit. So still gonna be doing a little bit of buffing. We're still gonna be sharing our power, and we're still doing a roar of coverage. So where we can stack hit points and power, we will, guys, to give off that much more of a buff when we do and help out our allies a little bit. So that's why we're gonna stack pure offense and defense radiance, guys. For your armor enchantment, I got the negation. Elven Battle moment. I just really like this enchantment. Not being able to get stunned as a paladin is really great, guys. This helps builds, especially use Burning Light a lot of, and you know, when you're popping it, it's quite a while to cast. So I like to get the full effect of that. And then we have the Transcendent Plague Fire for that debuff, and this works really this, guys, for this paladin. It's really nice. It's pretty good, but that just too expensive at the moment, and I get nerfed. You know, I cannot confirm that yet. This is what I've been told. So I'm not 100% sure if that's true, but that's just what somebody told me. For our waist and neck, we have the Thander's Belt and the Imperial Dragon Cloak. I took this as the action point gain, and this one gives me with charisma, which is pretty nice. For the shirt and gemmed exquisite warrior's chainmail, for the the power crit type deal, and the armor pen. Checking out our stats, we're gonna go straight constitution and wisdom instead of charisma. Why wisdom instead of charisma? Because we got that crit chance, guys. Like I said, this is my DPS build. I'm gonna make a video of me in a dungeon to show you guys just how good these two builds are. Unfortunately, I still do my videos through Twitch, so I'm not gonna show it in this one. This video would just be way too long, so I'm gonna make a separate video. We're still at 200k hit points. There's my power, 31k unbuffed, 6,000 crit, 3,000 armor pen, 5k recovery, and about 8 defense. And my deflect isn't too bad, 3,500 roughly. Right here, my crit chance is 44%. My damage resistance is 41%, which isn't too bad for this build. That's enough to get me going and make sure that I don't die, which is pretty nice. And when my companion procs, I'm good. I don't have to worry about getting one-shotted or still. This build is pretty still tanky, enough for the tier 1s and 2s. For our powers, guys, we use Radiant Strike and Valeria Strike, guys. This increases our damage resistance by 5%, and this, your armor pen and damage are increased by 5% for 15 seconds. So make sure you get in the habit of hitting Radiant Strike, and make sure you swing Valeria Strike all no way. Oof, that was really close. Make sure you swing your Valeria Strike all the way, 3 swipes, so you get the Valor set. For our 2 dailies, we're going to use the Divine Judgment. Like I said, guys, this doesn't leave, as well as the bubble, just in case. I still throw out the bubble occasionally just to help a little bit, but not as much, guys. I ain't even gonna lie. We are running sacred weapon, I think it's called sacred, and this, guys, is a massive damage boost as well as a nice aggro maintainer. Oath protection. Your next 3 single attacks also force your target to attack you for 3 seconds. Your next 3 single target attacks deal bonus radiant damage to your target, guys, and then it's at rank 4, so that's just an increase to our damage. And we use Burning Light and Templar's Wrath, guys. Wrath is just that's kind of our tanking part of this build. As long as we can keep that up, we're good. So what I'll do is I will hit my sacred weapon, spam Burning Light, and I'll pop that, and then I'll swing, and then it's just a constant rotation like that, guys. Moving on to the feats, guys, I'm going to just go through these pretty quickly. Weapon Mastery increases their crit chance. Toughness 3. Full strikes, our at-wills deal 6% more damage. Our encounters recharge 6% faster. Impassion Please, guys, this is pretty good. Divine Call is so good. It reduces the cooldowns, as well as it's right here. I don't remember what the second thing is, my bad. It's right here. Increases your damage resistance as well, okay, which is pretty nice. So being able to get that either is pretty sweet. And then Steadfast still, because we still want quite a bit of hit points. And then Force of Will. This is going to increase our crit chance 1% for each point of charisma. So moving on, we're going to go with the Light Paragon path first. You heal for 10% more. That's these two kind of suck for this build. The big thing is we want Warrior's Bastion and the Aurora's Gifts, because we still want to share our power, guys, no doubt. And then for the Justice Pass, we're just going to take straight across, guys, all the way up to the last one. Moving on to the boons. In the Stronghold, I took the power, hit points, and just for the movement speed on the mount. You can put on the defense if you don't want to share that much, with the Aurora coverage, if you feel you prefer more defense over hit points. But then again, that's completely up to you there. Or maybe you don't even have the hit points. I know some guilds don't have it necessarily, so I prefer the hit points. You might prefer the defense. That is kind of up to you. So straight across in Star and Dark, guys, we're just taking strictly DPS boons right here. So power, crit, action point gain, striking a foe, more damage, and then when we kill a foe, we can stack our power. Same thing with Dread Ring, guys. Power, regen, resistance ignored, which is armor pen, shadow touch, and rampaging madness. Icewind Dale, guys, combat advantage, stamina gain, and crit strike. If you have these two, go cool resolved and Winter's Bounty. Underdark, straight across. Power, crit, combat advantage. I would take the Stamina gain, and of course the Abysmal Strikes. For your Tyranny of Dragons, just go straight across, guys. Power, crit, armor pen, regen, and then the increased crit severity, guys. The Maze Engine, we want the 400 income and healing, the combat advantage, increased action point gain, and the Behemoth's Might. Elemental Evil, guys. Power, regen, crit, and of course crit again. For the Storm King's Thunder control, Stamina gain, Chill Determination, and then the Glacial Strength. And if you do have the rest of these boons, I would just take the Chill of Winter. These last couple kind of just suck. For the Cloaked Ascendancy, I have the 500 recovery one. Most likely you want to take the Crit Strike one, and then when I would probably take the Roar of Hope to increase our action point gain for our allies, which would be pretty nice. And then I would take for this top one. I actually never looked at these yet when they're dim. I'd probably take the Aberrant Power. I forgot to mention, guys, real quick, sorry. I would replace the token and the waist and the neck for the Demo's Might or Orcus set. I'll put it like that. Just with this double refinement, I have no AD to even buy the 3-piece set, because the neck at the waist at the moment it's expensive. I don't have 1.1 million to buy it, but if you get it, definitely use it. It's gonna help out your DPS immensely, guys. No doubt. So I'd probably get rid of the token, and then of course you have to go with the full set, so you get rid of the neck and the waist for the full set, and to get that increase in your damage. We're gonna move on to the companions, guys, real quick. We're rocking the Con Artist, hands down, one of my favorite companions. Cell Sorters are right, guys, but just the Con Artist, guys, it gives you 3 rings. Are so easy to fill, and they're so versatile. You know, with those sword knots and the necks and stuff, there's only a limited ones you can get, and it's hard to get them double gemmed. It's a lot of farming. Illusionist Gambit, you gotta make them through Masterwork. Then expensive, but rings, you guys can farm these in FBI and MSVA. Get him pretty much anywhere. That is why I love this guy, and I'll keep him until they come out with another one that has 3 rings and that shredding ability that he's so good for. The Energon Ball increases our maximum hit points by 5%. The Lilith, I actually just have her legendary. That is why she's here, and that's the only reason why she's here, just for that legendary bonus. I have the Fire Archon and then the Air Archon to help us out with that DPS a little bit. Moving on to the Mount Powers, guys. I still don't have my legendary. Opened a shit ton of boxes. Didn't get anything, but it's okay. I'm using the Flail Snail, the Legacy one. Action point, gain 1. For my stable, Protector's Camaraderie, Artifactor Persuasion, Artifactor's Influence, Wanderer's Fortune, and Shepherd Devotion. I use Shepherd Devotion because when you're using your bubble, this is kind of that extra little bit that they can get. Or when I drop the knife, this will help out my teammates that much more. And this scales with my power, which is really nice. And then, of course, Protector's Camaraderie. Everybody knows what that is. Persuasion, whenever you use your artifact, you get an increase to your stats by that much. You know, your recovery, movement, action point gain, stamina gain. So when I pop my sigil, I can drop like 4 knives. I can use like 3 knives in 1 bubble. You know, it's just depending, you know, on the type of group you're running with. If they're really bad, I don't even waste the bubbles, so I'll just drop 4 knives. But you know, that's just me. People say, oh well, you gotta do your tanking role. Yes and no, because I can tank for myself, you know. But no, in all seriousness, I haven't had any problems with this build, tanking tier 1s and 2s and keeping my allies alive at the same time, because I can make the damage fairly simple enough in those dungeons. Still, that's not a problem. Moving on to the pure tanking build, guys. This is one of my favorite things. This is awesome. I love this. I'm definitely buying me another character lore. It's gonna be Healed one. Boom. It's just that easy. Just that easy, man. So of course the left side hasn't changed, but check out the right side and check out the artifacts, guys. Hands down, you gotta get the Horn of Valhalla. You gotta. Okay. If you want to be a tank, you gotta get the Horn of Valhalla. Just for this increase, and right here. Whenever an enemy attacks, the bearer That enemy damage is reduced by 3% for 6 seconds, stacks up to 5 times. Excuse me. So with this, guys, if you are a pure tank, you have to go with the Valhalla set. We have the Greater Everfrost coat and the Greater Everfrost shirt and pants. I should just put it like that. And why, guys, is when your deflection is greater than your lifesteal. Whatever you perform with deflection, each successful deflect over the next 10 seconds, return 50% of that. So it's kind of like a little damage boost. But the big thing is, guys, it gives us the hit points, the defense, and deflection we need. As a tank, unfortunately, my 3 other artifacts don't change out. But still, getting that power and maximum hit points is still pretty sweet. And getting the power and hit points and defense from this is amazing. And, of course, the Sigil of Devoted, it doesn't matter, because with this build, guys, we're going to be trying to spam our shield of fate, stuff like that, to keep our allies alive. So right here, as you 12 hit points, defense is about 10k, my deflect is about 5, and then with that being said, my damage resistance is 48% unbuffed. And right here, we're going to put all our points into Constitution and Charisma for this build, guys, just straight across. For our rings, you know, these don't change. I mean, if you really wanted to get in depth, I have a deflect ring that I could put here. But the only thing that sucks, guys, is the enchantments don't follow. Which is kind of a... You have to remove the enchantments, and that would just get weird for me. So the rings ain't going to change. Ours, guys, since we are tanking, and just purely tanking, we're going to use Valeria Strike and Shield and Strike, guys. So get in the habit of swinging your at-wills with your left and right trigger. It is going to feel weird for a little bit, but guys, Valeria Strike increases our damage resistance by 5%, so make sure you swing that 3 times. And then for your other one, Shield and Strike, guys, this gives you almost like a shield, pretty much. That stacks up to 3 times and lasts for 8 seconds. So, oh no, oh man, that was close. So pretty much, you know, after you swing your Valeria Strike, get that stack. Just keep swinging Shield and Strike, guys. That's how you're going to run that rotation. We got the... Oops. I don't mean to have that there. Right here. I actually got to set these up real quick. I didn't know why these changed for. So for our X, Y, and B, guys, we got Binding Oath. This forces the targets to attack us, while Shield, Large Wrath, no brainer. And I use Circle of Power. Like I said, this is a pure tanking build, and the Circle of Power increases our damage resistance for by 25% for us and our allies, okay, which is pretty damn nice. So 25%. You can use Bane too, right? Bane is pretty good. If I'm running with 2 DCs, I won't use Binding Oath. I'll use Bane, Templar's Wrath, and Circle of Power, guys. So, scared me, yo.
They're down here, right?
Now,
They were.
for our powers, we're going to go Toughness, Divine Action, Light Shield, Exemplar's Haste, Impassion Please, and then Steadfast. Same thing with the Justice Path. 5 of 5 there, 5 of 5 here, 5 of 5 here, 5 of 5 there. And then instead of Purifying Fire, guys, you're going to use the Beacon of Hope. This is kind of like giving off a little bit of a healing aspect, which is pretty nice. And then Vengeful Judge. And the same thing down here, guy, for the leg. Still going to be sharing our power, so you heal for 10% more, you gain more defense from equipment, and then the power sharing aspect of the build, guys. Moving on to the boons. These are completely different from my other build, guys. You're going to just take straight deflect, and hit points all the way across. So for Sharndar, you're going all the way across, guys. For Dreadring, you're going to go with the power. You're going to go with the regen, the deflect chance, the enrage regrowth, and the augmented Thane Bastion. Icewind Dale, same thing. Weathering the Storm, refresh and chill, and then the 400 recovery. And then, of course, you would probably go with the Cool Resolved, and then the Winter's Bounty still, guys. For the other Dar, you're going to do defense, crit, regen, probably go stamina game faster, and then demons deal less damage to you, because we're just trying to maximize our tanking from all enemies. Moving on to Tyranny of Dragons, guys. there is the 1600 hit points, 400 deflect, and then the 400 defense. I would take the regen and then probably increase incoming healing to help you when the cleric throws off whatever little heals he does, making sure you stay alive. Maze engine, guys, pretty simple. 400 incoming healing, demonic resilience, demonic swiftness, and then the discipline of faith. Elemental evil, just straight across. These two last are for our recovery as well as healing us up. Right here, frosty, just I'm not gonna go over once again. Just put the points in where I got them. You can read them. And then for this last one, I don't have it. You'd probably go with the frozen reflection. And then of course for the Cloaked Ascendancy, we want that 500 recovery, guys. So that's pretty much it. The companions don't change, unfortunately, with the loadouts, and the mounts don't change for the loadouts. You'd have to do that personally. Let's just go over here to the dummy real quick just to show you what my stats are. There you go. Alright, so right here is my stats. Not too shabby. 16k defense, 212 hit points. My resistance jumps up to 64% with the power, and as well as, I forgot to go over this one, the Aurora of Protection that I use, which increases my damage resistance as well. But this is for my allies too. Really nice. And the stack onto that, and neither does the Circle of Power, guys. And then we're going to switch real quick to my DPS build because I forgot to show you for the stats for the buff companion. And then get swinging. So right there we had 63,000 power, yo, almost 7k crit, 4100 armor pen, 8900 recovery. That's quite a bit recovery. I have to work on dropping that down a little bit, but not too bad. We're at 50 defense, so that gives us a total of 57%, which is pretty much half, which is pretty good for like tier 1s and tier 2 guys. And then I'm going to show you what my power can become when I'm getting an enemy, because as you guys know, Paladins gain more power through the protection path when they're taking damage because of the, right here, the Oath of Protection mechanic. That is just awesome. So let me just run over here real quick, guys, and then that will pretty much be it. Like I said, I'm going to be making videos on these actions.